Is OpTic going to have a hot start? Are we going to see the dominating team? Or are they going to come out a little slow and maybe give this TSM team a chance early?
And it's interesting, TSM in the last match against OpTic in the league, they didn't want to show any of their strategies they had coming into this one. Maybe letting the Shiva go through was something that TSM had planned, but nobody on TSM running a Shiva at this moment in time. It's going to be formal, just running it off the break for OpTic Gaming.
Well, you talked about Weeds and what he's been doing with the AR. He opens up with 3 nice kills to get things started. Just a few points coming in for either side. Usually this first hard point on the first set of rotations. Going to be a contest fest. Not usually a lot of time coming in for either side. But what do you try to do here? What side of the map do you want to hold when you're looking to start rotating over to Yard?
Well, it's something that's kind of up for debate, right? We were talking about this yesterday. I believe it was me and you. I kind of like to take that Grandma side of the map, set yourself up for Trax and Grandma. Well, you actually like to be over by that barn side and just be able to funnel through that back alley, and then with about 20-30 seconds
start to push
straight through. But I think Grandma is so important that you need to put yourself in a great position. Even from that tin side, you're still able to kind of trade that timeout in auto in the second hard point. So I think preferably for me, I would go fight for those spots.
All right, well, they're trying to hold it now from back alley. Shots coming in. Krem and Karma both picking up a kill. Karma was on a 4 streak before finally dropping an early lead here for OpTic. 30-point advantage, holding on to Yard, watching both of these entrances from 10. And you can see why some might feel this is the preferred side. You basically have one area you're funneling through there in 10. You have a doorway and a window to watch. The question is, can you effectively push through when the time comes?
Well, I do like having that Grandma side of the map, but when you get in there early and you win the gunfights, right? And Krim gets fortunate there as Kolchan takes out Ivy. He's able to take out Kolchan right after. But it's quite funny. I mean, Formal's 6-3 right now. Scump 3-6. Those two players, I want to say, like, Formal's playing not very well, but 6-3, usually expect them to get off to hot starts, still double positive, not a lot of kills. But when those two guys are not dropping huge numbers, as Formal drops down a lightning strike on top of Karma's head, when those two players are not playing well, you usually expect the other team, they have a great chance, make it a game, whatnot. And this is just not looking good for TSM. Obviously, 78-5 this moment in time, heading over towards Grandma. But you figure Scump and Formal really going to turn up, start to heat up.
And that's a big kill there.
Yeah.
Getting him off of back silos and now being able to push from both sides as Scump comes in and decimates Ivy. Not able to pick up a third there. But the man of the hard point is going to be Karma. He's got HC out. You see the rest of his team picking up kills, and they are able to force these spawns out. Push coming from trackside. Who's going to be there to deal with this? It's going to be Formal, set up by Globe. And you can see via X-Ray, everybody from TSM is about to push through. He gets a kill. He gets an assist. Shots firing through as they lock down that Trax push.
When I was saying you can't really kind of hold these two guys down for long with Formal and Scump, and you're starting to see Formal really start to heat up. He jumps right up to second place on the team in kills. But talk a little bit about Karma when Nate was talking about him on the analysis panel, is that I think some of the stuff he does kind of goes unnoticed now. Like, we talk so much about the other three that I think, Karma playing for spawns, SMG, AR, a lot of the stuff that he brings to the team kind of just gets lost, and I think he's been a huge part of OpTic Gaming's success thus far in Black Ops 3.
All right, well, now let's go on with TSM for a little bit here and see if they can hold down Trax, because they are getting blown off the map right now. You see Karma coming in right now with the Tempest, gets 2. That's going to chain. He might get all 3. Is it going to spread? There it is, gets the 2 in the back. Get the fortune, hit the shot, please, Damon. Comes off a little bit far, but look at the slang right now from OpTic. You have basically triple positive to double positive for the entire team almost.
Yeah, on the side of TSM, you needed Kolchan to have a big game. He's 5-14 right now, and then the new addition to the team, Ivy, really struggling 4-13 as well. See if he can get going in the second half, but it's not looking good for TSM at this moment in time. And we talk about specialist weapons, Maven, and the Tempest, we saw it yesterday from Royalty, we saw it from Classic in the first series, now Karma in this one. The Tempest really doing some nice things this weekend. I would be shocked if we don't see more players throughout the course of the matches remaining go towards that Tempest over some of the other weapons.
We've seen it just more and more over these past couple weeks. I saw it quite a bit in the EU last weekend. Not shocked to see it used in a big capacity here early on in the Stage 1 Finals for North America. But let's go on with Weeds. He has to have a big impact, and he's got his work cut out for him. He's 15-16, so he's getting the kills, doing a good job playing that AR role, but unfortunately, you see his sub-players in the secondary AR really struggling from a flat-out slang aspect. Every single player on his side double negative right now.
Yeah, I mean, Pac-Man's going to be running that second AR for this TSM squad, and Wheat's doing a good job. No, even, but you got to get some more out of Pac-Man. He's going to try and play for that middle hill, and Formal just sitting in Z, just picking players off, and this has just been a steamrolling by OpTic Gaming this far. I definitely think, you know, we talked about Rise Nation making a statement, trying to get to the finals, trying to beat some of the top tier teams that they feel that they need to beat to prove themselves. I think OpTic, same kind of position this weekend where they want to prove themselves that they're still the best team in the game.
I couldn't agree more. And talk to me a little bit about Crim6. I want to watch him through a few spawns here. He does so much for his team from a leadership and in-game leader standpoint as well. You know, you coached him, you played alongside him sometimes, probably in scrims, I'm sure. Tell me a bit about this guy.
I have, and kind of like what Nate was saying, when Crim has a certain way he wants to do something, he will let you know that that is the way Crim wants it to be done. And he puts a lot of pressure on his teammates, and he holds them to a really high standard. But that's why you've seen him have so much success throughout the years, right? When you hold your teammates to those high standards, and you refuse to let them just be lazy and make bad plays over and over again. You kind of, I don't want to say coach them or train them to, you know, get it out of their mind, but Crim does a great job of just, you know, holding his teammates to such a high standard of play.
Well, unfortunately, it seems like the team that needs a little bit of coaching right now is TSM. They're down by 120 points. The OpTic train has not stopped from the get-go. They are in complete control and looking to blow this one wide open. I mean, the biggest margin I think we saw between two teams coming into Hardpoint was that I think H2K Team Liquid was like a 250 to 70 or 80 score. This looks like it might be even bigger because Scump and crew ready to lock down Grandma's, and they might be able to shut it down here.
Yeah, well, Scump activates that kinetic armor. He's able to get one, but he's just baiting these players into Grandma perfectly. But Ivy wins a huge gunfight, and it looks like TSM could potentially get in control of the hill. It's Crim, though, rotating in with an RK5, able to pick up one. And TSM needs to get into the hill, get him out of there quick. And you see Colchan picking up 2 kills. And it's going to be TSM taking some time now. They need to lock down these spawns, though.
They have to, and it was Pac-Man and Wheats, the duo, trying to do it, but that's what's tough when you have a player like Formal, the ability to go vertical with the sight there, just ripping him off that back cover, and now opting to take control here of the back. But who is that? It's Wheats, gets the good spawn. They've had control of the back. They're doing a good job picking up some time here, but the question is the lead too big? Is this going to be too little too late for TSM?
It might be, and you're going to see OpTic Gaming. They're just going to give up on this Grandma Hill. Looks like they're going to set up for mid-map, try and put some pressure over on Trax and get control of that hill, because we do see teams take a lot of time on Trax. So you can spawn that team back alley, and you get players pushed out over by Globe and Peaches, and you push people out by Barn. You're able to spawn the team over by that second hardpoint in back alley. You can take a ton of time.
Yeah, the HC, you see, not going to be that effective when you saw the 2 perk ones come off. Black Jacket really the only option now in that capacity. So it's going to be a good scouting utility, but not going to do much in the way of kills. But let's look at Karma. Karma +8 right now, almost 2 minutes in the game here for his team. They're looking to shut this out. Can they get it done on Trax? They're trying to get the break. Pac-Man on a 3 streak, has his HC up as well. A long ways to go for that Annihilator, and he's going to need to go huge here on the backside of Trax.
Well, TSM's actually gone huge as a team. Just look at where OpTic's spawning out. Karma dies. He's going to spawn all the way in that back alley. That's exactly what we're talking about. OpTic trying to do, rotating early, but TSM fights for the hill, gets control of it, and they're climbing back into this matchup. And remember at the qualifier when it was a Pac-Man and Wheats going up against OpTic Gaming, it was a breach hardpoint, and they were down, it was like 200 to like 60, and then they made that crazy comeback. End. So a little bit of the same now in this matchup.
Well, you have a lot of veterans on this TSM team. They've seen it all. They've been through adversity. They've had monster comebacks. They've been comeback on. The question is, do they have what it takes to do it now? Still trailing by a wide margin, but the comeback seems to be a glimmer of hope until you get all 4 down for TSM. OpTic regaining control.
That's the easiest way to stop a comeback.
Yeah, that's one solid way.
They're gaining momentum. They set up in the mid, and you see Karma yet again with the Tempest, able to pick up 3. Big kills, gets fully streaked out again, and if you are a player not watching...
Don't run to him! Just leave him alone!
If you are a player not watching what the Tempest does and don't think about going Tempest over Annihilator, I think you're crazy, personally.
Well,
I mean,
that was a 10 streak for Karma,
you see how many kills you can pick up with the Tempest, and Karma having a really good game here early. And it's going to be OpTic Gaming taking game number 1 versus TSM, 250 to 136.